When you hear most four-wheel drivers talking about their suspension, usually the only thing you'll hear is, I've got 2-inch lift, or I've got 3-inch lift, or I've got 4-inch lift, something like that. But there's a lot more to choosing your suspension than just that, isn't there, Alan?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
just in the Terrain Tamer range for 80 series, there's 8 different coils you can choose from. Different heights, but different rates too.
That's right, yeah. We've got the standard one down there, which is for if you don't go off-road at all, and a lot of vehicles don't go off-road, really comfortable spring. We've got also one with a 2-inch lift, same thing.
Oh, now, you say that's the same thing, but that's actually a lighter rate, isn't it? 2 inches higher and slightly lighter rate?
It's a lighter rate to still give you a comfort sort of a ride, but raise the vehicle just that little bit. Then we go to the heavier, very heavy mines department spring, which would take Ruthie and his wife without any trouble at all.
That's nice, isn't it?
And we've got ones in between the two, but we can go up to 3-inch and 4-inch lift, but it requires other suspension components to cope with that.
Other steering modifications and all sorts of things, isn't there?
Right.
But the whole thing about this is that choosing suspension is a lot more than just choosing your height. You need to know what you're carrying, don't you? And you need to know where you're going to go with it.
You need to know where you're going to go and what you're going to use it for. Yeah.
I mean, some people go travelling with a bank card and a toothbrush. Others won't go anywhere without the outboard motor and 200 litres of water. So, at some degree, you need to work this out. You need to work out the sort of weights you're carrying.
Yeah. With your spare parts guy.
With your spare parts guy, because he's the bloke who's going to know what's going on. Especially if it's Terrain Tamer, he's going to know the whole range and he'll have heard all your questions before. But Coil Springs, well, they go boing, 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 don't they? You can see that in a big biro.
Boing, boing, boing. Yeah,
well, I'm a leaf spring guy. I can say boing, boing, boing.
Technically.
You need to control that movement, don't you?
Yeah, so with the coil spring just absorbs the bump in the road, but it doesn't get rid of it. And we've got to get rid of that somehow. So we've got shock absorbers, which actually then absorb the bump.
Yeah.
Squirt oil through a small hole to be very untechnical, and it heats the oil up, and then the heat is got rid of by just travelling along. So they do get hot. Sometimes they'll even burn the paint off on some racing conditions. 2 types of shock absorbers. Tell us about them.
I knew he'd do that to me. Well, look, you can see the difference, okay? This is a GS, that's a TGS. The GS is going to offer you a lot better ride than a standard original equipment shock absorber all day long. It's got a chrome shaft. It's a very good shock absorber, but if you're heavily into off-roading, you move up to a TGS. You can see straight away there's a difference in diameter. The difference in diameter, it means it's housing more oil, I guess.
More oil and runs cooler. They've both got 9-stage valves in them. They're both excellent shock absorbers, but you would probably choose the TGS if you wanted to go heavy off-road. Great shock absorber.
There's one more thing I've got to get in here. I just noticed this before. In the box, look at this. You know what these are? These are bushes. You need these to fit your shock absorbers. And I noticed that with the TGS, you're giving people a choice.
Yeah, you can go for the yellow shock absorber bushes, which are a little bit harsher to ride, but last for a lot longer. I personally go for the rubber ones, but they've got a choice, and either or.
So you've got rubber for comfort.
You've got a choice.
Neoprene for long lasting, you get the choice. That's unreal. It's a really good product, eh? So there you go. When it comes to suspension, there's a lot more to it than how many inches you've got. You really need to know your vehicle, know your intended purpose, where you're going to go, how much weight you're going to carry, and then work this out with your parts guy. If he's the right bloke and turns you onto some good product, you're going to be right.